Hi, welcome to the 2017 Drop Landing Championships held in beautiful Moscow, Idaho. We have some fierce competition for you today. These athletes have been training all morning for this. Let's see if their hard work and dedication has paid off.
The strategy model used in the events today is the load accommodation model proposed by James et al. From Texas Tech 3 years ago. The initial baseline performance is indicated by this black circle here on the left. Using a regression equation of the sum of forces equals mass times acceleration, we can calculate the expected ground reaction force for a given mass and acceleration, indicated by this Newtonian line here. As the applied stressors, such as height or weight here on the bottom on the x-axis, increases, we expect to see an increase in ground reaction forces. The fully accommodating line here that's completely horizontal shows no increase in ground reaction force with an increase in stress. This positive biomechanical region on top of it indicates that there's a higher ground reaction force than the initial condition, but less than the predicted Newtonian equation model. A majority of landings occur in this region because humans are able to manipulate the biomechanics of their body to become more compliant and alter the force they apply on the ground. The super Newtonian region here on the left indicates a ground reaction force that is greater than the initial condition and also greater than the Newtonian predicted. This region is associated with stiffer landings, and athletes that land in this region are prone to injuries. Lastly, in rarer cases, athletes can land in this negative biomechanical region. Here, the ground reaction force after applying increased stress is both less than the predicted Newtonian response and less than the initial condition. Athletes can do this by increasing their compliance. Let's see what our athletes today do.
We are starting with the first event of the day. In this one, athletes will be jumping from a body weight condition, and then they'll have 2 tries to get as close to a Newtonian response as possible. Our first competitor, Juliette from Redondo Beach, California, will be trying to achieve a purely Newtonian response. This means that her drop landing response will have the same peak ground reaction force as her following ones with an increased stress in a pattern that we can calculate using the law of force equals mass times acceleration. This is challenging for humans because we tend to respond to stress differently than inanimate objects. Let's see how she does. In this event, the stressor of added weight will be added. Juliette will be performing the same motion. However, she'll have the added weight of 2 biomechanics textbooks and a backpack. We are expecting to see an increase in peak ground reaction force. She sticks the landing. Wow, she really stuck to that predicted Newtonian response. This means that Juliette landed with the peak ground reaction force that was calculated using F equals ma. For Juliette's second jump, she landed in the positive biomechanical region. However, she was aiming for a purely Newtonian response. This means that her peak ground reaction force in the second jump was greater than the body weight condition, but less than the predicted Newtonian response.
Hi, my name is Darinkka Rojas, and we're here with the 2017 championship competitors. I'm actually here with Juliette, and we just wanted to get a feel on how she has done on her past 2 jumps. So Juliette, how have your jumps been today?
So today I was aiming for the Newtonian response of my drop landings, and they went okay, I think.
I noticed on your second jump that you didn't seem very happy. Can you talk further about what was going on or what was happening?
Yeah, so I definitely felt like I was a lot more compliant on the second one. I decreased the angle between my joints on the second jump more, which created small changes in my velocity over the same amount of time, which decreased my acceleration. This pushed me more towards the positive biomechanical region and away from the purely Newtonian response that I was able to get in my first jump.
Wow, thank you so much for your input. Now we're all out of time, but thank you so much for giving your time to me. Right back at you.
For this event, competitors will be competing from different heights rather than different weights. Our next competitor, Kennedy Zarak from Boise, Idaho, will be jumping from a starting height of 1.5 feet for the initial condition, and then she'll have 2 chances to get as close to the fully accommodating region of the graph from a height of 3 feet. Wow, that was a good initial height condition. All of the following events will be compared in relation to this condition, but at a height of 3 feet. Kennedy looked compliant in that jump, maybe a little too compliant. Her results put her in the negative biomechanical region of the model, which means that her peak ground reaction force was less than the initial height condition. She likely perceived the drop to be more challenging than it actually was. That jump looked great. Her ground reaction force values were the exact same from 1.5 feet and a height of 3 feet. That is impressive. This means that Kennedy was able to fully accommodate for the increase in stress and height. Oh, what a shame. It looks like we have an injury. Kennedy's ground reaction force values were in the super Newtonian region of the model. This means that they were higher than the initial height and weight condition, as well as greater than the calculated Newtonian response. Most injuries happen in the super Newtonian region because of the stiffness of the landings in this region.
Welcome back to the 2017 Drop and Landing Championships. I'm Darinkka Rojas, and I'm here with another contestant, Kennedy Zarak. So Kennedy, what were your goals for today's competition?
I was aiming for the fully accommodating response of my drop landings.
And how do you think your first jump went?
I perceived the jump to be a lot higher than it was, so this pushed me in the negative biomechanical region because I was way too compliant.
And for your second one?
This one went a lot better. I was more stiff in this jump, and even though the height was increased to 3 feet, which increased my time in air and increased my acceleration due to gravity, I was able to land compliantly enough to decrease my GRF and have it be the same in my initial height condition.
Awesome. And for your third jump, I noticed that you added some height and weight into it. Can you tell me how that affected your jump?
Well, as you can see by my ankle, it didn't go well. I landed in the super Newtonian region, which resulted in injury to my ankle. I landed higher than the Newtonian predicted model and higher than the initial height and weight conditions.
Well, I hope you have safe recovery and good luck on the rest of your competition. Thank you.
Hopefully you learned something today about the types of responses to drop landings with increased stress in the forms of additional height, weight, or both. Humans are able to adjust their stiffness and compliance during landings to manipulate their ground reaction force values, and this also changes which region they are in within the Newtonian strategy model. I'm Jeneba Hoene. Thanks for joining us with this ESPN coverage of the 2017 Drop Landing Championships.